Are you looking for the best gaming console? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best gaming console on the market. Before we get started with our video,
we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range.
Starting at number 1. PlayStation 4 Pro 1TB console. Why you should buy this? This last-gen console has a healthy catalog of top-tier games and the price tag has dropped since the release of the PS5. Who it's for? Anyone who wants to game without breaking the bank. Why we picked the PlayStation 4 Pro? While plenty of gamers are making the jump to the PlayStation 5, there's still a lot of life left in last-gen consoles. The PlayStation 4 Pro is still a serious gaming machine with a vast library of games, and the console's price tag and the cost of games, accessories, etc. only is going to continue to drop. The PS4 Pro is also slightly easier to find than the PS5, though most modern consoles have suffered from low availability following the recent chip shortage. The PS4 Pro delivers an impressive playing experience for 4K television owners because of the enhanced graphics and sharper images for 4K-enabled titles. We're not going to pretend that the PS4 Pro is close to matching the superior PS5, but it's still a worthwhile gaming experience. Aside from a handful of titles exclusive to the PS5, you're going to have access to most major titles out now and all the most popular free-to-play titles. Price is a major factor when deciding whether to upgrade to a new system. There's no shame in snagging a last-gen console to play with until the PS5 becomes less expensive and more widely available. Number 2. Nintendo Switch Lite Portable Game Console. The Nintendo Switch Lite is the best handheld game console out right now, giving you access to all the latest and greatest Nintendo titles without the price tag of its hybrid counterpart. If you plan on only using your Nintendo Switch in handheld mode, the Nintendo Switch Lite makes for a great option at a slightly lower price point. It lacks the television docking support of the standard system but features a smaller size and a slightly better battery life than the updated Switch console that launched last year. It's compatible out of the box with nearly every Nintendo Switch game as well and is perfect for games like Pokémon Sword and Shield. Ditching the Joy-Cons, the Switch Lite comes with an all-in-one design. It's almost an inch shorter in width, making it more compact than the original. Coming in at 9.7 ounces, it's lighter, but not so much that it feels flimsy. Being smaller than its predecessor, the button layout had to be altered slightly, but the console is still incredibly comfortable and easy to navigate. There aren't any obvious differences in gaming performance on the smaller console either. Revving up the field in Rocket League or building your defenses in a tense Fortnite match will feel just as smooth on the Switch Lite display versus the original Switch's screen. With no dock, HDMI support, or Joy-Cons, the Switch Lite doesn't have TV support or motion controls, which slightly impacts your gaming options, but most of the Switch library is available. Number 3. Nintendo Super NES Classic Game Console. It has 20 of the best games ever made for only $80 retail price. Nintendo fans old and new, and those who grew up with video games. The 16-bit era saw Nintendo at the peak of its creativity, releasing popular, acclaimed games like The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past and Super Metroid alongside cult hits like Earthbound. Third-party companies didn't take a back seat, with Square Enix's Final Fantasy VI and Konami's Super Castlevania 4 among the best games of all time. With the plug-and-play SNES Classic Edition, you can experience all over your favorite classic Super Nintendo games as you remembered them through retro gaming. There's even a CRT filter option mimicking the look of your old television. With the addition of a save state feature, playing old Nintendo games on the SNES Classic is significantly less frustrating than it was 25 years ago, and when you're ready to sit down and game with a buddy, classics like Super Mario Kart and Street Fighter II Turbo, Hyper Fighting give you a chance to compete for bragging rights. The SNES Classic Edition also is the only way to play Star Fox 2, outside of the Nintendo Switch Online service, a game Nintendo canceled just before its original release date. To unlock it, you just need to beat the first level of the original Star Fox, but it will be very tough to pull yourself away once you start playing. Number 4. Sony PlayStation VR Headset. It should come as no surprise that the PlayStation VR headset does not have the technical capabilities of its full VR counterparts. The headset sports a pair of 960x RGBx 1080 RGB displays, one for each eye, and runs off the PS4's AMD Radeon GPU, which is far less powerful than the minimum required specs for a Vive or Rift-compatible PC. It also has a 100-degree field of view, which is slightly smaller than the Rift and Vive. That being said, PlayStation VR achieves that feeling of complete immersion that comes from a full VR device, as opposed to mobile-powered options like Google Cardboard. There are so many fantastic games available on the platform, ranging from action and shooter to platformer, puzzle, and a slew of others. Good luck trying to figure out which are the best to play or which you can handle being fully immersed in. If you haven't used VR much, the PlayStation VR will blow you away. If you've tried more advanced VR tech, you might be a little let down, but this is the most consumer-friendly way to play VR games in the comfort of your own home. We're still waiting to see how well Sony's PSVR 2 performs, but based on what we know about it so far, it seems to be a huge leap ahead of its predecessor. Number 5. PlayStation 5 console. First of all, the PS5 currently has the upper hand when it comes to games. PlayStation gamers have been enjoying Sony exclusives like God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Xbox fans, on the other hand, have been subject to a slimmer list of top-tier exclusive. Sony also has finally brought backward compatibility into the fold, too, and the PS5 will be able to play most PS4 games, so you won't miss out on late-gen titles like The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghosts of Tsushima. The PS5 simply has the best game library out there right now. The PS5's solid launch lineup is only part of the equation, however. Slightly larger than the DualShock 4, the new DualSense controller refines haptic feedback, incorporating a precise sense of touch into the gaming experience that force feedback never achieved. If you're draining your stamina bar to pull back a bowstring or attempting to bust down a locked door, for example, the hand triggers can convey that tension. Of course, if you need a little more from your controller, you can always shell out for Sony's improved DualSense Edge controller. It also comes with a 4K Blu-ray player, putting it in line with the Xbox One S and Xbox One X. In layman's terms, the PS5 is technically less powerful than the Xbox Series X, but still packs a punch and represents a massive upgrade from last-gen consoles. On top of all that, the PS5 will soon have its own designated virtual reality headset in the PlayStation VR 2. We haven't gotten a chance to give it a test run just yet, but the list of launch titles is very impressive. If discs aren't your thing or you simply want to save some cash, look no further than the PS5 Digital Edition. It retails for $100 less than the standard PS5 but is identical in terms of specs. The only difference between the two is that the Digital Edition has no disc drive, meaning Ultra HD Blu-rays are out of the equation and you'll need to rely on digital downloads. Everything else, including the launch lineup, remains the same.